Good evening and welcome to Pakistan Today from our Islamabad studio. I'm Victoria Lane. The United States says hostilities with Iran have officially resumed. U.S. President Donald Trump has formally notified Congress that military operations against Iran restarted on July 7th. According to Reuters, the notification begins a new 60-day period during which the president can use military force in the region without prior congressional approval. In a letter dated July 10th, President Trump said the action was taken to protect Americans and safeguard U.S. national security and foreign policy interests. The letter also noted that a ceasefire ordered on April 7th had been extended while diplomatic efforts continued, but renewed tensions have now brought an end to that pause. Meanwhile, the conflict has intensified, with the United States launching a fresh wave of airstrikes on Iran for a third consecutive day. The strikes came after President Trump announced the reimposition of a blockade on Iranian ports and proposed a 20% cargo fee for ships using the Strait of Hormuz. Despite the escalation, President Trump said a diplomatic agreement with Tehran remains possible. The UAE reported that Iran struck 2 vessels in the strait, killing 1 crew member, while Iran's Revolutionary Guards claimed they disabled 2 supertankers they described as offending vessels. The U.S. military said its latest operation targeted Iranian coastal defense, missile, drone, and maritime facilities. Iran later claimed missile and drone attacks on U.S.-linked targets in Bahrain and a U.S.-used airbase in Jordan, although those claims have not been independently confirmed. In another major development, President Donald Trump has announced that the United States will assume responsibility for security in the Strait of Hormuz while maintaining a renewed blockade of Iranian ports. He also proposed a 20% levy on all cargo moving through the strategic waterway, describing America as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. Iran strongly rejected the announcement, calling it piracy, with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi responding that Tehran would charge a lower fee instead. The latest statements underscore the growing strain between Washington and Tehran. Global energy markets are closely monitoring the situation as oil prices climb to a 4-week high. Brent crude rose to $84.80 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate reached $79.84. Investors reacted to renewed military tensions, the reinstated U.S. naval blockade of Iran, and continuing attacks around the Strait of Hormuz, raising fresh concerns over the security of one of the world's most important energy supply routes. Pakistan has reaffirmed its unwavering support for Saudi Arabia's security and territorial integrity during an emergency United Nations Security Council briefing on Yemen. Islamabad strongly condemned ballistic missile attacks targeting the kingdom and urged all sides to avoid further escalation. Pakistan also reiterated its support for Yemen's sovereignty and emphasized that an inclusive, UN-backed political process based on dialogue and diplomacy remains the only path to lasting peace. Turning to national security, Sindh Home Minister Ziaul Hassan Lanjar says 4 terrorists were involved in the June 27th attack on a Rangers camp in Karachi. Speaking alongside senior counterterrorism department officials, he said 3 attackers were Afghan nationals, while the 4th was from Bajour and had lived in Afghanistan for 2 decades. Police allege the attack was planned, directed, and supported from Afghanistan, with handlers coordinating the operation and supplying weapons, ammunition, and suicide jackets through a local facilitator network. Authorities say investigations into the incident remain ongoing. And finally, in sports, football fans are looking ahead to a historic FIFA World Cup semi-final as Lionel Messi prepares to face England for the first time in his international career. The 39-year-old Argentina captain is playing his 200th international match during this tournament and says it is a special occasion to finally meet one of football's traditional powerhouses on the World Cup stage. Messi will be aiming to guide Argentina into yet another World Cup final in what promises to be one of the tournament's biggest matches. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today. I'm Victoria Lane.